gluttony, greed, pride, sloth, wrath, envy, vainglory, lust. Time and time again, the wages of inerasable sin are measured, and the cost is found to be the death of all things. In this world, from the moment life begins, the sword of Damocles hangs overhead, waiting to drop on a moment's notice. Because in this world, though the gods are long dead, they left their tools behind, and mere happenstance may grant a king's prize to a fool's errand. To understand why, one only has to look to the past. Aeons ago, there existed an interstellar civilization of unparalleled science and technology. Their vast accomplishments displayed such incredible understanding of the universe that the traces of their existence suggest that they had solved the riddle of entropy many times over. Forging unique artifacts and engines of limitless energy, they found a way to harness and control aspects of reality itself. Though no record survives to tell how high their ambitions rose, the remnants unearthed from the ruins and dust of their homeworld reveals a terrifying and awesome potential. Trinkets and baubles, capable of manipulating the unconscious minds of all life. Crowns, with their own wills and desires, granting seemingly limitless ability to edit matter. Celestial engines, calculating any desire and granting any wish. Infinite potential in the form of a clockwork star. They were the ancients of Halcandra, and the only thing harder to grasp than their technological omnipotence is the terrifying thought of what unknowable power was capable of causing their extinction. Perhaps it was hubris, their own creations run amok, an unmaking of their own design. Or perhaps it was the remnants of a dormant god of creeping chaos. We may never know. But what we do know is that at some point before their extinction, amongst their midst, a cult formed. A cult dedicated not to the realm of science and interstellar technology, but to the dark arts of mysticism, unholy magics, and unknown gods lurking in the space between realms. A great thinker once said, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. But what is to be said when both are proven to exist? One can imagine the ancients being wary of this path, and the dangers that come with accessing that which lies beyond our realm. One can imagine this cult embracing the unknown at all costs, shunned, but operating in the shadows. Suddenly, a time of galactic crisis befalls the ancients from their home world of Halcandra, and what remains to this day is a twisted metal landscape of ruin. Whether untruth or not, this cult of darkness would eventually proclaim that it alone was responsible for ending this horrible nightmare of a crisis. Witnessing the cultists fall into what they deemed madness, the ancients ultimately chose to confine these souls to a planet-sized iron vessel at the farthest ends of the galaxy, to a forgotten fortress known as Jambandra. With nothing but time and hatred on their side, the Jambandran cult devoted themselves with renewed resolve to the worship of their unknown dark gods, old ones that perhaps, in the time of crisis, finally started answering back. The ancients did not have much to say about the progenitor of this cult's dark powers. Or, if they did, they carefully chose not to speak in detail of it with their written texts. All that is recorded was the name Void Termina and the circumstances with which it was vanquished and sealed. 4 heroes using 4 spears impaled and imprisoned it in a dark place known as the Jamba Heart. Countless ages pass, the ancients vanish, but the Jambandran cult lives on, under leadership of Highness, the Efficient of Doom, with a suspicious appearance to others who bear knowledge of long-dead civilizations. Possibly due to the powerful resolve of devout religion, or possibly due to no longer being restrained by concepts such as sanity, Highness, a wizard of the dark arts, carried his hatred of the ancients and their science across all of time. His entire being consumed with this hatred, he turned to the Jamba-heart, now in his possession. A song of supplication is sung in reverence of a sealed demon god. Despite not fully understanding how to break the seal, the ritual ends almost as quickly as it begins. Highness' mistake in the process causes the Jamba-heart to shatter into thousands of pieces, spreading corruption all over the galaxy. The Jambandran devotees, deploying from remote fortress Jambastion, waste no time collecting the shards, until a happenstance traveler gets involved and nearly stops Highness' plan to rebuild and summon his god. In a final mad soliloquy, Highness curses the traveler as if he were one of the ancients in loathing, and even accuses it of probably living somewhere pretty and peaceful, while the Jambandrans were tossed aside and forgotten. He then throws his and his servants' lives away, eagerly, into the waiting Jamba-heart in a sacrificial final plea. And the plea is heard. Hatred, obsession, jealousy, greed. The darkness gathered by Highness has transformed into a corrupt power within Void Termina that conflicts with his newly forged soul. Void Termina arises once more, and with each passing moment, its very existence is reminiscent of things that have come before. As it comes to terms with its own sentience, we learn that there's more within the Void. The true dark power that the ancients feared has been reborn as the Void Soul. As the Void Soul ebbs and flows in its ethereal form, one cannot help but consider the possibility of this postnatal god's connection to previous threats to the universe. Impulsive, uncertain, aggressive, the Void Soul's voice is eerily reminiscent of a familiar one. Its music is eerily reminiscent of a familiar tune. It has many forms, but finally reveals its true face. If one were to try to recreate what they saw, it might go something like this. First, you draw a circle. Then, you dot the I's. Add a great big smile, and presto, it's